Hello everyone, I'm Joe Medley from East Alabama Sports Today, and if you followed me over the years, you know this is the time of year when we go to high school football playing schools around Calhoun County and visit with the coach and have a preseason conversation about their team. And we're going to start off this year working south to north in the county as usual, but there's a new team in the south part of the county now,
Yes, sir.
the Hope Christian Saints, and I'm here today with Coach Chris Stone, who just came from practice. And how did practice go? How are things looking?
I'll be honest with you today, and I told him at the end of practice, it was probably the most complete practice that we've had thus far. So they're getting it, they're learning, they're picking up the small details. We harp on that a lot, but it's important. Anybody that's played any sports or any sports really, the small details are what make the difference in the fourth quarter.
What's the process of starting a team from zero?
Yeah.
Like, when did this process start? What have been some of the steps along the way to get here?
So I guess first and foremost, it came down to numbers, right? So early in our first year, this will be our going into our third year. Our first year, we didn't have very many boys in the varsity level, or even the JV for that matter, to be able to make any type of football team. It's like I said at the Calhoun County Media Day was, the first year, all we had was a cross country and a varsity basketball team with the boys. That's all we had. It takes a lot of resources to start a football team. Football is pretty expensive. So we had to start from scratch. Helmets, shoulder pads, jerseys, pylons, all this other stuff. Now, we've been blessed, and we've had different organizations, stuff like that, donate some things that we're able to utilize. We ended up getting with BSN. I had to find a rep, trying to find these connections of different reps that I can use, finding different materials, jerseys, whatever we need to get. So it's definitely been a process, but we've enjoyed the journey along the way. And it's been amazing to see and watch it grow. And now we're sitting at 27, 28 kids at 7 through 12. So it's been a process, but it's moving a lot faster than I initially anticipated. Initially, I was 5-year plan to start having football, but here we are, year 3, and that's all due to God's plan and what He has planned here at Hope Christian.
And the colors.
Yes.
This is a subject for me because purple is, there are a lot of personal reasons why
Okay.
purple is my favorite color.
Okay.
I've always wondered why, with all the high schools here in Calhoun County, why there was not a purple school.
Okay.
We now have a purple school.
Yes, sir.
How did that come about?
And I'm glad that you brought that up again here because I had a little bit of a brain fog when we were in the Calhoun County Media Day. But I knew it. As soon as I left, I knew what it was. So the purple stands for royalty, the gold for honor. And that's what we want to do. We do all of that unto God in everything that we do. And we like for the kids to understand that. Also here, in any sport across the boards, nobody will ever wear the number 1 because Jesus is number 1 in our lives. So that's another cool thing about Hope Christian. Out here in the front, we have them framed, and it's the number 1 jersey, and nobody will ever wear number 1 here. But the purple is for royalty, and the gold is for honor.
See, when I was 6 years old, I had an uncle, and I was nosing around in their house one day, and I found his Purple Heart.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
And that's how purple kind of became a thing to me. And then a couple of years after that, I became a Vikings fan because of purple.
That's awesome.
So purple's always been a thing.
Good deal.
You were an all-state player for Daleville High School. Very productive career at Arkansas State University as a defensive lineman there. I looked you up last night. 160 career tackles, 31 for loss, 13 sacks, 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions as a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And some fumble recoveries in there too. But
Yep.
what do you take from that experience into this experience?
So from my experience, obviously at Daleville High School, I had a good career as a tight end, and it was interesting the way that it all happened for me because if you notice, I came out of high school as a tight end, but then when I get to college after my redshirt year, I'm all of a sudden a defensive end. Well, when Gus Malzahn came in, I can remember that spring, that fall of my redshirt year. I didn't play, I was a scout team guy. And we graduated, and I could be, give or take, we graduated maybe 8 to 10 defensive linemen. So we were very short in the recruiting in that. We didn't have many. So I remember it just like it was yesterday where after a spring practice, going into my redshirt freshman year, I believe redshirt sophomore, Gus called me in and he asked me if I would go over and play defensive end. Well, I'm looking at my track to getting on the field as soon as I possibly could, and I was still behind some tight ends. There was still some upperclassmen, so it didn't look as good, but I knew, defensive end, and plus the team needed me at the end, so I was able to get there, learn a lot of great things. I'll be honest with you, I played for some of best coaches. You know, Hugh Freeze was the one who recruited me up there. He left, and then Gus came in, and then you had Brian Harsin, Blake Anderson. I mean, I played under some very good coaches, and I learned a lot. Even in the auxiliary staff, defensive line coaches, tight end coaches, defensive coordinators, I've learned a lot. I'm still in touch with John Thompson. He's actually coaching over in I forget the name of the school. It's a Christian school in Georgia, not too far from here. But I speak with him quite a bit, you know, keep in touch with him. And I've learned a lot from, you know, the college. And I think the most important thing that I've learned from that is the details, the smaller things. I mean, when I was at Arkansas State, you couldn't even wear earrings inside the building. You know what I mean? Just small things like that, just to make sure that you're paying attention to the details. Another big thing for me was from high school to college was finding out how much more efficient they are in college when it comes to getting work done, whether it's film, whether it's practice field or this, that, and the other. So I tried to my best of abilities to emulate that, what I did there. Now, I still understand that I'm dealing with high school kids, you know what I mean? So we kind of have to dial it back a little bit, but however, I do hold them to that standard. We run practices like that, and it's worked so far. Like I said, this morning was the best practice we put together since we started last Monday.
The coaches you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
I think of the kinds of offenses that they ran or run.
Yep.
I look at your roster and I see out of 27 players, there are 14 players who list wide receiver as one of their positions.
Yep.
Is that a clue as to what Hope football is going to look like?
That will give you an idea of what Hope Christian is going to look like. Absolutely. Spreading the field, sideline to sideline, getting people run in better condition than everybody else. That's what's going to look like physical up front. Yes, sir.
And the trigger man, of course, is going to be Kanan Bozeman,
Absolutely.
who was a star in this school's run to the AISA baseball semifinals in the spring in their first season. Catcher. So if he's a catcher, you know he's smart, desirable quarterback thing.
Yep.
You know he's probably got an arm, desirable quarterback thing.
Yeah.
And he's tall if you see him. So that's another desirable quarterback thing. How does he look as the trigger man of this kind of offense?
Amazing. He really does. I'll be honest with you. Starting the first year program, you couldn't ask for a better quarterback than Cam Bozeman. You can't. From his intellect, his IQ, his knowledge of football, obviously his athletic ability. I think he lists at 6'4", almost 200 now, maybe 185, 190. I mean, and he runs. I believe he can run a 4.5, you know, or sub 4.5. I mean, he's just that dual threat guy. He's got a cannon. He can throw. Obviously, playing catcher. And he's just a great leader. He is. I mean, and not only that, he doesn't just sit around point and just get on guys. He'll get up there and show them how to do it. You know what I mean? He likes to lead from the front. I don't think we can ask for a better guy to lead us in this first season on August 22nd.
Kanan and his older brother Eli were just cornerstone athletes for this school.
Yes.
You got to have a lot of credit for what they've already helped to establish here.
Yes, sir.
And then, you know, at Media Day, you mentioned former Weldon player Nick Morrow, who is both running back and wide receiver. Sounds like you're really interested in finding ways to get him the ball and move him around. Tell us about his abilities.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So Nick Morrow has tremendous ball skills. He's got a good nose for finding a hole. He is, and we like to move him around. You know, motion him in sometimes in the slot, in the running back position. He'll also play some DB for us. You know what I mean? Some of your best players with a roster of 27. I mean, just like many other schools, any 2A, 3A schools, and regular public school ball have maybe 30 kids on the roster, if that. You know, so a lot of times they're having to play both ways. A lot of snaps that they're playing. And you got to put some of your best players out there on the field. Nick's one of our best players, and we look forward to him having an amazing season and moving him around. So I think he's done amazing. He's kind of like Kanan as well. I tell you what, if Kanan's the more general type, then Nick Morrow is right up under him. Just he brings the energy. You know, Nick Morrow's a little bit of a goofball, but I enjoy it, right? Because when it's monotonous and guys are down and this, that, and the other, he just has a way of bringing that smile and bringing that energy back to the team. So we lean on Nick for that a lot, and I speak to him a lot about that. And it's just about him being himself. You know, he knows how to work hard. He knows how to lead. I just need him to come out there and be himself, and it's been going great so far.
Another player that really jumps out to me came here from Piedmont, offensive defensive lineman Caden Marcharello.
Yes.
I reached out to his dad today to get his up-to-date height and weight.
Yeah.
6'5", 296.
Yeah.
I don't imagine you don't see too many of those in high school football, let alone AISA ball. But those are the kinds of beasts you went up against in college.
Yes, indeed.
Just tell us about what kind of presence he brings up there.
Also one of those guys, man. Obviously, Caden Martorello, like you said, with his size, with his height, with his arm length, and all of these things, he has a very good shot at going to play Division I ball. I mean, he's just that desirable size that college coaches are going to be looking at. You know what I mean? Not only that, but he has a high IQ as well. He's helped a lot in helping in between our coaching, helping the other offensive linemen and defensive linemen with their stuff. Whether it be pass sets or whether it be zone steps or hinge blocks or all these different blocks that O-line have to do. He's been very instrumental in helping to do. He'll be starting our left tackle this year. He's going to be the blind side for Kanan. And he's amazing, man. He's physical. He's long. He's strong at the point of attack. He played some D-line, but I don't know that he played as much as he's probably going to play this year. But he'll play the D tackle for us as well this year. And he's been amazing. He's one of those guys as well that one of your playmakers on both sides of the ball that can move people, and he's a monster down there in the trenches.
If you hear a bang, that's not Caden knocking people down. That's the volleyball practice right just down the hall from us. Got a varsity and JV volleyball team
Yes,
this
sir.
year, so they're in the gym and the ball's just banging the door there. We do these things in school settings, so you're going to hear announcements, you're going to hear tones,
Yeah.
you're going to hear all kinds of things. That's the whole point of it. Looking at your schedule this year, right? Seems like it sets up well for a team trying to establish something. You got the first 4 games at home, 5 of the first 6. One of those games, August 29th, is the defending AISA state champion in the State Chambers Academy. Just how does it help you having so many home games early? I know later on in the season you probably wish you had more home games.
True.
But just getting your fans out, showing them something to see, what does that do for you?
Yeah, so I've thought about it and I prayed about it, because when we first got the schedule, it was like, all these games up front, but then you got your last 3 games are way on the road, one of them being 3.5 hours away, and it's like, man, I wish I had a little bit more say in this, but I truly believe after praying about it and seeing, I just see how God's lining it up. You got to think about it. First year school, trying to establish something at home up front for a good season. I mean, who wouldn't want to have home field advantage the earlier part of the season to try and get you some momentum going into the later half? So I think that I think God lined it up just exactly how He wanted it. I expect there to be an amazing crowd. We have an amazing fan base here. The families of all of our student athletes are very, very much involved in all the athletics that they do. We travel pretty well also, so I'm thinking those first 4 games at home are going to be it's going to be amazing. It's going to be loud. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere to be a part of.
For those that don't know, the AISA does all of the scheduling for the schools, and so when he says God had His hand on this, there you go. It kind of came from on high. Looking at your region this year, it's AISA Class 2A Region 1, the Lakeside School, Hooper Academy, Edgewood Academy, Crenshaw Christian, Abbeville Christian. What can you tell us about those teams for fans around here who've not seen them?
So I had a chance down at the end of May. It's when we have our annual AISA coaches meeting down in Panama City. So myself, Coach Burns, and his wife as well were down there, and I got a chance to meet some of these coaches. Hadn't had a chance to look too much into the teams, but from the leaders that I'm seeing out of those guys, I'm sure they're going to be good teams that we go up against. You know what I mean? My more important, what I'm more focused on is doing what we do, executing, getting out there and doing what we do, coaching them up, and as long as we go out there and execute, we should be good to play with anybody in the state.
We talked before we went on camera here that your background is not in coaching, but now you're coaching and an athletics director. And you talk about callings.
Yep.
Are you in that place with this now? Do you feel that?
Yes. So I graduated from Arkansas State. My major's in sports management with a minor in marketing. So ultimately, what I wanted to do, 1 or 2 things. I wanted to be an athletic director, or I wanted to be a sports agent. Is what I wanted to do. It's why I got there. So the athletic director role that I'm in here now is something that I had dreamed about for a long, long time. And then, you know, I get here, I get that spot, you know, then I'm called to do some other things. They need some people to be in different places. So they asked me to be the head coach. I love football. And I was praying about the decision, spoke to my wife, and God just laid it on my heart that, you know, He has called me to come out here and impact the lives of student athletes and teach them, you know, to understand the game, how the game is played, and help them to be as successful as they want to be in that sport. So, you know, getting that opportunity, I think it's a great honor and privilege to be able to coach these kids. I love it. They always, you know, keep me uplifted, you know, and they've been amazing. It's been an awesome opportunity just to, you know, help to lead them, you know, train them up in the way that they should go, as the Bible tells us, so that they will not depart from it. I want them to understand who they are in Jesus, you know, and not conform to the world. You know what I mean? A lot of crazy things going on in the world. I want them to understand that you don't have to be like the world. You're actually called to be set apart. So I get the opportunity to share that with them daily, and it's a great honor and a privilege.
Chris Stone, everybody, the coach of the first year Hope Christian Saints, about to play their first football season and coming off a very successful first baseball season. Some of those athletes on the football team that play baseball too. So this may be, you know, we think of a first-year team as a team that may come out the gate struggling.
Yeah.
Baseball team didn't.
No, sir.
I don't count the Hope Christian Saints out this year.
Yes, sir.
They just might be a factor in AISA. Chris, I appreciate your time.
Joe, thank you, brother.
Good luck this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.